I want to make sure for that. So now the thing though, as we go through and the school year is new now, it's
Mm-hmm.
fresh, there's a lot of exuberance, a lot of excitement going on. But let's think ahead as the year progresses. And slowly, Lord of mercy, me tired for Carol Picnic. I've got to do
Yep.
one more place I forgot today. Me tired now for drop after me tell the first day back to school peak and everybody take that and they post my Instagram and TikTok and everywhere and then now it'll start get real. It's slowly starting to get real.
The burnout.
In that, every day I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Me have to buy gas, me have to leave work for do this. It's starting to seep in now. Right? So let's think about how can parents persevere for the end of the year. What have you had to, what's usually your advice to parents when they come? Kind of, the burnout start becoming and they start feeling the pressure of school.
Parent burnout, teacher burnout is real. The end goal, parents have to keep that constant communication with teachers as to what is happening with my child. Is the drive that I'm doing worthwhile for the growth that I want to see in my child? Parents need to also be mindful that the goal you have for your child is not necessarily the goal that the child is going to
Yeah,
display.
the one that's a lot to swallow. That's what
Okay.
a big
And
deal.
I do believe a lot of parents have that issue with, but he's supposed to know that. She's supposed to know that. I knew this when I was a child, right? Very guilty. I said,
Big, very guilty of that.
you are, the child is half you, half other parent. Go back and check if the other parent, how the parent was as a child, just to make sure, because it ain't always you all the time.
No, but it can even be both parents
Both parents,
are,
true.
yeah, we knew this at two. At two, I could, and then the child not doing it. It can create stress. It's true.
It is true. Right. So in encouraging parents, it's just to keep constant communication. I am a type of teacher where I always show my data. I always show what they need to see. Parents want to see the proof in the pudding. Okay, they want to see the outcome. All the mixtures put together, all the ingredients put together, they want to see the outcome. And so parents, communicate with your teachers just to make sure that everything that is happening is what you're paying your dollars for. There are some teachers who you've never seen a worksheet. You've never seen the book being marked. You've never seen something of a comment to say, John, you need to make sure that you are adding properly, and so teachers need to just be clear with the parents. Mom, dad, I'm going to put you on to someone else, but that takes the parent also being intrusive and making sure that their child is just not being left behind. Teachers also need to give a layout plan of what it is that they want as a goal for the next coming months, weeks, and in the end of the school term. Everybody wants that PEP result to show the school that mommy or daddy went to.
Yeah.
Okay.
First pick. Yeah, mom, first choice, first. Yeah, that's
First
become the
pick.
standard.
But we also want to know that the first pick for you may not be what is desired for the child. The learning environment may not be the best for the child. Teachers just need to make sure that once it is that they can give the service to the best of their ability affordably. Because at the end of the day, this panel is about making sure we're building our wealth, keeping our money in our pockets, and not just spending it like it's loose change. Every dollar, every book is very important. So making it a mandatory in-house call, a phone call, a presence in-house, call on that is very important to make sure that every dollar is being spent in the way intentionally as it should be. Teachers have burnout. It's real, where the activity you should have given for Kate, you're giving to John, and John is not ready for that activity. John cannot handle that activity. Parent burnout is real because, yes, you're finding a way to, sometimes the classes can be on Zoom too, instead of the parents having to come
To drive for it. And
in
I mean, this is
person.
education at every stage. I know we talk a lot about the primary, the PEP, but even in high school,
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Somebody have 50 CXC or 70. It's a lot at every stage of education, even nowadays from daycare.
Care,
Some
yeah.
of these kids are being pushed and you have to carry the child to do this and they have to go learn that and they need to do Apple and they have to, it's a lot, even at the university level as parents where,
Mhm.
all right, I have to pay this hefty tuition in a US dollar for my child. Plus, they want to do this additional thing. Me have to pay for them apartment, me have to pay for car,
Mhm.
them they are foreign and it adds up. And
A real conversation, it needs to be had. I honestly, there are some parts of me, even while I was in Jamaica, I was like, these prep schools, not calling any names, the fees do
not
not
sure,
add up to the reality.
we're not even gonna go there, but the prep school fee and then everyone is gonna choose where they want to send their child. That's fine. But the underarching thing is make sure that you're getting value for your money
For your money.
in education generally and with any
Mhm.
form of investment. Anything where your money are gonna spend on, you
Make
need
sure
to
it's being
get
spent
value.
wisely,
You need to
wisely,
get value.
timely, wisely and timely. Parents, that's all I will push. Wisely and time. Research the schools. Research what you want out of
Yeah.
the school. If your child is going for 6 years, 7, because some are from kindergarten, 7. You have to put that in context.
No, and
Research
some
the
school have
schools.
pre.
Right.
And for the child that they have 9 years and very long
Research
time.
the schools and not the name. I'll leave that at that. Research the schools, not the name nor the location.
All right, miss.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
teacher. Okay, it's true though, and
Mhm.
with
Research.
coming back to the point of value for your money,
Mhm.
we are responsible for our own money. Nobody's coming to save you. Not
Mhm.
because you pay for something, mean that you're entitled to a result. Not because I've sent my child here means I'm entitled to get this. Nobody never said that.
Right.
You have to be on top of things with anything with your money, not just
Mhm.
education. You have to be on top of things to get the result that you want. Nothing is going to happen unless you put in the work.
Right.
Nothing not gonna happen unless you follow up, you check in, you evaluate, you monitor. That is necessary, right? And then as we think about how we're budgeting for education, we're not gonna
Mhm.
just throw out all our money and say,
Money,
all
right.
right, from my kid needs it, I'm spending it. Yes, we want the best for our kids, from daycare, from baby, right up to tertiary education, right up to even postgraduate education. We want the best for our kids, but we have to make sure we're getting value for what we're spending. And the only way to do that is by checking in, monitoring. Don't wait till the grade come at the end of the term or the grade come at the end of the school year to say, what happened? Like what happened? Like I paid. What's going on here? Oh come. We don't want that. We have to be proactive and monitor as we're going on. That's the key thing with our finances overall, because even with investments in a Francis, some people they put their money in investments, them not really look back on it, them not monitor it,
Mhm.
then them check in, 6 months later and say, but all of the money gone, all of this
Yeah.
gone.
Mhm.
Never
Shop
look
around
back.
parents.
Same thing can happen with education. I'm just sending my child to school. I'm going. I drop you off every
Mhm.
day. I pick you up. I carry you to extra lesson. I carry you to dancing. I carry you to go do the bag of CXCs. I send you to the best college. And you're
Mhm.
gone here and you're studying this. You're gone overseas and I have to pay for it. I expect that you must strive. No, it don't work so, right? It doesn't work that way. We have to monitor, we as the parents have to monitor our money is spent. We have to monitor because that's a part of the ROI, the return on your investment in
Mhm.
your child come from you monitoring. I'm gonna say everybody quiet in the chat, but we know the real thing. No, because
Mhm.
I've seen even from my personal experience, it's something I've had to learn as my son. I mean, he's 5 now, but me have to learn, me have to follow up, me have to check in because I can just be there paying, thinking,
And nothing.
this is gonna work
Mhm.
and it should work and it must work, but it not gonna
Mhm.
work unless I'm monitoring and being proactive.
Yeah, that
Absolutely,
is true.
I agree with that. Right? I'm just want to drop that little thing there and make sure. So for parents that you've seen that coming and throughout education, both while you were in Jamaica and even now overseas, what are
Mhm.
some of the things that you say parents kind of, what should be the key things that they focus on when it comes to the finances of their children's education? What would be that in your experience?
How they want their child to excel. What is it that they want their child to excel in? I had a parent who did a plan A, B, and C. Teacher, if he doesn't go to this school, that was when I was in Jamaica, I want him to be a pilot. I know that JC just
I
won't have the pilot program. So I need
um,
to make sure that he studies the sciences. I need to make sure that he knows the math. I need to
okay.
plan. Parents, plan. Children need guidance. They don't need a friend, they need guidance. Okay, so you plan, have that discussion with your child as they get older. What do you want to do? Okay, find the school that works. UE is not all the time the school that the child needs to go, because there are children who, because they
Yeah.
are not diagnosed, they have they need to have an IEP, which is an individual plan, education plan. And so for me, even growing up, a big classroom setting, a lecture type setting was never for me. I knew that a UE, a UTech possibly was for me, because it was a smaller, more condensed classroom size. Talk to your children. Know that, okay, if they want to do welding or
Mhm.
something, they don't they can go to like a community college and work their way, or possibly go to the community college, get a little job, and we'll fund it half of the way. Parents, do not extend where you cannot reach, because that
Mhm.
brings frustration.
Yeah.
If you see the ability in your child that they want to be a doctor, then pull up the family. Listen, Jane is gonna be the doctor in the family. Pull up the family, talk to the family, guys. We're gonna need all hands on deck. But if
I mean,
Jane
I
does
think
not,
that's unfair though, because that's only wouldn't it be a little unfair if it say I'm, three kids and it's like, well, kids, Jane is going to be the one to excel. Everybody fall back at Jane, because yeah,
no, no,
you're right.
no, I don't
Wouldn't
mean it
that be
like
a
that.
little unfair though?
The discussion, Keisha, of what my child can do has to start from early. I'm gonna tell you, even with the age of proximal development, a child knows what they want to be, based on how their environment is pruning them to be. Okay, if a child hears doctor, science, if a child hears and sees mom and dad doing certain things, most likely that child is going to follow in the steps of, follow something along what the parents have been doing. I'm coming from a line of educators, from my sister being in recruitment, my father doing education in sports, and my mother being in the classroom for years, right? So hearing the language, hearing the attitude, seeing the attitude, whatever you push for your child is what most times they attach to for their own likeness into
Yeah.
adulthood, right? So it's not hard for you to literally steer your child's future. Now, do you want to diminish a dream that they have? No. But you can make sure that even if the dream is to take and clean up garbage, we're going to make sure that he goes to a school for entrepreneurs, right?
And
Get
I'm
a
the
little
best garbage
entrepreneurship
cleaner over.
class.
A garbage cleaning empire, a business.
Empire,
Right.
instead of just working on the truck. Come, son, let me start putting away some money. If it's even for one, it's a van, and he works his way up until he has something. Parents
Yeah,
need to
I
be
like that. I
realistic.
like that.
If
Yeah.
John cannot excel to be what the parent could not be, because their parents, grandma and grandpa, no, they didn't plan ahead to help the parent. It is us, second generation, third generation, to cross the T's, dot the I's, that our parents prior to us could not do. So have the discussion with your child and say, listen, what do
Yeah.
you want to be when you grow up? And if they say, I want to fly planes, okay, research. Does it make sense we try to do overseas schooling? How can we do overseas school? Start talk to the family from a long time. That you can probably do a little letter embassy, and we start make sure say all of those things are put in
From
place.
early. Yeah, that is true. One thing,
Prune and weed and tend to the flowers in the garden. Your garden, the flowers are your kids. You are supposed to, as parents, be proactive. It doesn't, to be proactive does not mean we spend a lot of money. It means we are effective with the choices we're going to guide and steer our children into. Our children are built with many talents. Don't have them sit on just one.
Yeah.
open their talents to, if they are interested in a lot, a lot of parents are swaying the minds of children. If they like to cook, if boys like to cook, if boys like to do hair, because they fear of something happening with their child. There are a lot of people who have industries within the United States, and I always say a man can cook better than a woman, hands down.
Where you get that from?
Most times, most
Hold
times,
on. Yeah,
most times,
yeah,
most times, a man can cook way better, because guess what? They were raised on a single mom and they had to fend for themselves. And if a child picks up a little spoon and start to spin it around, no, 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 don't do that. No, you are blocking a dream that could make millions. Parents, I am urging you to open up your mind to different skill
true,
sets. We are still, our child has to be a doctor, or a child has to be a, if your child knows and wants to plait some hair and braid some stuff, and get them in
true.
the right schools. Not every child is going to be fit for a UE, because they will go to UE and fail and waste your money, and then what?
True. One thing with my mother from early, she was always open to where you want to do. All right.
Mm-hmm.
She listened and she said, to get there, you're going to have to do this. It was
Open
never a discussion
conversation.
about, all right, you want to do this? No, sir, no, you can't do that. No, no, no. Go find something else and do.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I believe that as well, that as parents, we have to encourage our kids to be the best in that field, right? Don't knock it down, but maybe you have to elevate the idea for them a little bit too and say, oh, you want to be, you love art? Okay, maybe we can open an art studio. You know, say make
Mm-hmm.
only money in an art studio doing this, that. Or
This.
you want to be a painter? All right, we go
Mm-hmm.
find a way to show you how to be a very rich painter
Yep.
and elevate the idea for the child. Don't say, no, great, yeah, okay, you want to paint. No, no, you can't do that. Go do this.
I
You
will.
know,
I will tell
teach them.
you.
I agree with you there.
I will tell you a personal experience back then. For some weird reason, I cannot comb my hair to save my life. Okay. But back then, I had this idea of I wanted to learn to do hair. And when I went to my mom and I said, Mom, I think I want to learn. She's like, no, 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 no. Mm-mm. Because back then, doing hairstyling was just like, looked frowned upon. It
Yeah.
wasn't looked as the ideal job for money making. I'm looking at my mother now and be like, if it did just let me go and learn how to do that
Yeah,
wig.
mommy, look how much money you spend per year. Yeah,
Look how much money I could be making, right? So there are a lot of parents who don't want, and a lot of parents are hesitant because of the fear of their child not making it. But
yeah,
parents, if you know your child is capable, as you say, it's a part of me and it's a part of dad, invest and believe of a dream that's different from what society has. Because sometimes that dream might be the one that brings you and brings happiness to your child. It might not be what society has. It might not be what you might have for your child.
true.
But look it up. Not every child is built for you. Not every child is built for you tech. Sometimes they
Or,
may
you
have
know, or
to.
for Harvard, or because,
Yeah, the Harvard and the Princeton and the everywhere else. Find other schools, because in even here in the United States, we have different classes that promotes. Don't be fearful of a community college. Don't be
yeah,
fearful of a community college. Don't be fearful of, you may have, parents also have to talk to their children about, you're going to have to get a job to go to school. Like, be realistic. It may sound bad, but be honest with the child. A lot of parents have their child thinking, yes, I'm going to go to this school. Mommy's going to let me go to UE. And when UE time come,
yeah, and I'm
mom
yeah,
says,
you're saying that is true. But as we think about, Emily just said, there are a lot of new skill sets that are available now. So,
mm-hmm.
lawyer, doctor, Indian chief, necessarily have
Yes.
to be really and truly the skill set that you have YouTube, you have content creators,
Which,
influencers,
mm-hmm.
tech person, engineer, lots of new careers being created based on where the world is going and where technology
Going,
is going.
yeah.
We have to
It's just a
have
guide.
those
It's just a guide.
discussions.
It's
Right.
just a
Alexia saying
towards
heart
you
is
have to
because
pass. And
I have seen it, especially with the heart trust and as they build skills there, especially
yes.
in the construction sector, can look a lot at the real estate market as an investor. Look there. And who will make the money in a real estate are the grill man,
There you go.
the plumber,
There.
the
Mm-hmm.
electrician. Them a clock some big money because these high-rise buildings all need to be wired for electricity.
There we go. And
And the
it is just, I
electrician,
think that parents are just fearful of, if I let my child do this, will they flourish? But if parents set their child up, okay, you want to the plumbing, all right. So we're gonna learn all of these, we're gonna learn all the things we need to do, and throw that into entrepreneurship class, let them know how to balance the books.
in
Because
it
if you
is
don't know how
true.
to balance the books, you're gonna feel like your business
Financial,
is not
the
profitable.
literacy
Yeah.
behind it.
The financial literacy, and a lot of parents don't speak to their children about money. I don't know why, but parents
Well,
are
plain
afraid.
and simple reason, the parent them no know. So when me I gonna tell you, I me no know myself. Right? That's why
Hmm.
I created spaces like this with Money Classroom for us to have these kind of discussion. What I'm hoping will happen after tonight is the parents that are on, the teachers that are on, are gonna pull the kids aside and say, look here, last night me did a what's a show here. Let me talk to you really and truly
Mm-hmm.
about your career. Where you want to do?
Yeah.
All right, and have those discussions, because when we, and that's why our initiative with the Ministry of Education is so important, because when we teach a teacher them about financial literacy, they will teach the students, they'll teach everybody, then we tell the parents, and that's how we get that whole nationwide impact. It's not no longer about, everybody look at bank work, everybody want to be a lawyer, everybody want to be a
Mm-hmm.
doctor. The money is made other places. It is.
And I
But
must I
we have
must
to
commend
understand
you.
money.
I must commend you, Keisha, because teachers can't speak on what they don't know, right? So every year the school year starts, and a lot of teachers don't hear from a bank representative coming into the school to say, okay, teachers, this is what can be available for you as teachers. A lot of teachers think that they can't even afford a home. A lot of teachers think that they can't afford a nice car. We still have to speak to Prime Minister about, giving us a raise of pay. But there are availabilities, right, of funding available that's out there. There are saving plans that teachers do not know. And as you said, parents can't teach what they don't know. But if a lot of the times children can't rely on their parents, and so we are the voice of growth. A lot of parents within their household have not spoken about what college can look like, the idea of college, what college can look like. And so you pushing into the schools, I want to really commend you for that, because it opens up availability also for teachers for what their end can look like, the site of what their end can look like for different.
Right. And it's bigger than just, boy, may I do that work here? Me not get the money, me not get the money.
Mm-hmm.
What opportunities can we create for our teachers?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be showing them whole heap of way to make money. Crazy amounts of money to build wealth. And the hope is that the teachers will teach the families they come in contact with, the
Yeah.
students. So, little Johnny, I got run home and say, Mommy, you didn't know say this. So
Yeah.
mommy can go implement some things for him as well, because the world is changing. And if you don't change with the world, you're gonna be a dinosaur in the past.
That is
You
true.
have to evolve as things are evolving. You have to understand how money works, because money is the thing with how, when you understand how money works, it's easy to make it, because you're gonna
That is
understand
true.
the game. You're gonna know what to do, and you're gonna be able to help your kids. So if you find that your child take a liking for a certain skill, they want to be a plumber, them like construction, you're gonna say, well, this is how you're gonna make money doing this. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of times we shut down things because we don't understand it.
We don't right.
I would
There's a
say, well,
lack of
construction
knowledge.
people look dirty, and you go, no, nobody do that. Nobody go get a
Mhm.
nice little office work. But the office people them broke. The office people, because office work not really carrying a swing again.
Not at all.
Thing. The
Not at
office people them
all.
are who after that say, hey, we need a loan. We
Look,
need most persons are in that middle category. The
yeah.
talent, the talent, the skills, a lot of them, them dirty pants, dirty whatever, but them have a big
Mm-hmm.
houses,
Yeah.
because they're in an industry that is growing. And then a lot of the office workers are in industries that are probably shrinking. The industry itself are shrink. So any minute now you're gonna lose your job. Whereas
True.
if you're in it's the industry my child wants to go into growing. All right, no problem. Let me show you how to make money in it then. Let me teach you what you need to do. Some I kind of set you up and I set you up for success financially. That's what we want for our
And that's going to
kids.
be very important because parents feel like because they don't have the money, they may feel like they want to talk their child out of that dream that would be accessible to them should someone just show them borrow against certain things, or if you have a life insurance, you're able to use it. People are just opening their eyes up even to the concept of life insurance being used for certain things. And so it is very important for you to know what your resources are, parents, that you're able to access money for the long term.
Yep.
I will also want to throw out there that a lot of parents, and I've told friends this, they may not like it, but I throw it out there. If your child is competent and you're seeing that they're able to adjust in a given classroom, I don't push for preparatory school right away. Save your money a
Like
little bit
say,
early.
one says,
Hold
one thing with
on
you as an
there.
educator, you keep saying, I'm gonna say that you give a lot of unpopular opinion. I
It
really
is
think,
unpopular. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. And it may sound controversial, but as a teacher who's seen it, a lot of parents, they jump right ahead. Yes, my child has to go to kindergarten, prep school, da, 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 da. And then when the time is ready for prep, grade 3, 4, 5, right up to 6, which I think are the grades that you need to be narrowing in on. Okay, if your child is having a difficulty, they have to pull their child from a preparatory school system because the fees have gotten too high. Okay. And that in and of itself is a problem for the child because to readjust, especially for the testing grades. So that in and of itself may not be like, what is she talking about? It's real. I taught at a prep school. Okay. It is real when you have Johnny is here and then you hear that Johnny's mom, dad, the fees are not being paid and Johnny is pulled, and you hear that Johnny is now going to a primary school and it is overwhelming with the class size. So if it
yeah,
is parents that you see, right, that Claire is able or Johnny is able to be competent in a small group, a whole group, a primary school setting. And I will say there are primary schools that run just like a preparatory school does. They're just as militant, just as rigorous. They run like a preparatory school. Seek those schools out. And then when you feel like, okay, I need to narrow down on my child's success, get them back in a preparatory school. It may not sound like the popular opinion to choose, but I have seen how it is a problem. They cannot afford the school fee and it goes up by grade. And by the time you are ready for
especially
the
with the
fifth grade
extra
or sixth
lesson,
grade,
it
they're,
does.
they're
And
pressured. All form of fees
it
they're
come back to
feeling pressured.
overall, where do you want your child to go? And it's not where me want for you, is
Yes.
having the discussion with your child.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you like to go? Where are your skill, your interests aligned?
Mm-hmm.
And then, all right, maybe we figure out now the financial part of it in a very smart way. So I kind of plug in also what we're going to be talking about for the rest of this series of episodes around back to school and financial education for teachers, for students. Our next episode, we're going to be talking about, all right, what products are out there for kids to prepare them for college, what products are out there for the parents to help if you have money to send the kids to school. We're gonna go into a whole discussion about that, but for tonight, I wanted to make sure we kind of open up the mindset, which I think you've done a great job of, kind of busting out people's minds and giving new perspectives, as they call it, because we
I
want to
try.
open our mindset first before
Right.
we go into all right, what we need to do, what are the steps, what are so forth. So for persons out there, if you miss any part, go back and watch it, watch a replay, make sure you're soaking everything, because we have to think differently when it comes to financing education for our kids. The world is changing, the type of job they might change, the how education is delivered is also changing.
Jane, yep.
We have to be wise to the system. We have to be wise with our money as we navigate it for our kids.